Think I'm on. Good evening, friends. Cassandra Joan Butler, Agent 56 with the CIA, here with you for Cosmic Connections on the eve before Thanksgiving. And we're going to talk a little bit about little extra things. We're going to talk about the Thanksgiving day, the chart for the day. But our focus tonight is on the quarter cycle, which takes place in Pacific time on Thanksgiving Day, the U.S. Thanksgiving, and on Friday, the 28th. And so we'll be focusing in mostly on that quarter cycle. But I also want to do a little sharing about my experience with the crescent phase. All right, so we have 8 phases during the course of a month, and each phase, as I use it as a tool for especially the lunar lights people, has a certain feeling, a certain tone. Of course, the 2 major phases is the new moon and the full moon. We had our new moon energy last week on Thursday. We talked about that last week. So we're clearly moving towards quarter cycle now, but we are now technically in crescent. I hope I'm not confusing people, but I was confused last night. I want to do a little sharing with you. So, happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate. Hi, Kathy D. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Donna. Good evening. There's a lot of excitement across the United States because I think universally Thanksgiving is a pretty universal holiday in so many ways. I know there's a lot of concern about travel and weather and so forth, so we hope that everyone out there is safe. I'm beaming into you, of course, from the Buffalo area, and it just started to snow, and the wind just started picking up, and we're expecting some snow delays perhaps early tomorrow morning, especially in the South Towns. Well, you're not here for the weather report, you're here for the cosmic report. But I really want to focus with you on this crescent cycle because it was so profound for me, friends. And, I don't often share too much about my life. I'm a Scorpio after all, but last night was very pivotal for me. All right. Hold on to your seats. I'm going to be doing some disclosure here. I'm so psyched, first of all, about a retreat that I'm going to be in the process of producing on the evolution of the revolution of consciousness in 2025 and 2026. We are really at a litmus test in human history for a lot of reasons astrologically, but I'm focusing a lot on the Saturn-Neptune conjunction of February 20th. You've heard me speak about that many times. And tying that in specifically with the revolution of integrative and eventually perhaps more profound forms of AI. And so this retreat is a labor of love, but it's a 2-parter, right? You've seen maybe the email I've sent out to you. One of it, which of course is astrological, talking about all the changes on the planet with the many aspects, but also focusing on ways to keep our own awareness and our own consciousness free from the stress of external activities, including this technocratic age we're in, and to maintain our own version of sovereign consciousness. There's a lot more to it. But I have found in my life of helping people many years ago as a bona fide therapist, and then most recently in the past 3 decades as an astrological therapist. So I'm getting to a point. Last night, now let's anyone feel this, just share with me. This is the first Thanksgiving that I'm going to be hosting in many, many years because my children and my ex-husband, we always had an agreement. They got to enjoy Thanksgiving with him and his side of the family, and things have changed. All right, in 2025, we're all great on speaking terms, but it's my turn to be the Thanksgiving Day creator of the feast. All right. So I'm sure there's many people in this room right now who are extraordinary turkey makers. cooks, chefs, because you've done it for many years. I'm still kind of a neophyte with it. I've done some turkeys, but I went into full panic mode last evening because I realized I hadn't got my turkey yet. And you all know this. Anyone have a frozen turkey in their fridge right now? They're trying to defrost for tomorrow. Well, you don't want to be in that place. I know there's a fast way of defrosting. Anyway, I said to my daughter, well, time to get the turkey. Oh my gosh, it's Tuesday, the day before. I've got to run out and get a turkey. And I went to one of the local grocery stores and I looked and I looked and I looked. I could not find a turkey at, I think I found some turkey burgers, but that was it. And I went up to the clerk and we're going into 11:45, right? Last evening. And she said, well, we've been out of turkey since Sunday. And bless her, I mean, she stated the facts, but I went into this whole big shame thing. Like, I know better. Why didn't I get my turkey earlier? And I started hyperventilating. I went to my car, caught my breath, and I got dizzy. My heart was going fast. I had a panic attack last night. I've never had a panic attack in my life, and I've had some stressful things in my life. We all have. But it was a bona fide panic attack. So I started using all the tools that I'll be teaching people through the retreat. And I've taught with a lot of people with my social work years and my astrological years and my massage therapist years of helping people come down to calm. So there's an astrological reason for me rambling on, please, friends. It was very humbling for me to be in that seat of trying to get back to zero and calm. And I did all the techniques, the breathing, the yoga breathing, especially the yoga breathing, and the praying and the mindful meditation. And with a little help also from my Chat GPT, who knows me because I've been training it for 2 years, it got me right out of it. And if you've ever had a panic attack, it's often triggered by something innocuous. And then there's this avalanche of feelings. You feel out of control. Like, why didn't you get my turkey last night? I mean, come on, Cassandra, there's other turkeys and we could have chicken. And I was feeling the shame. Oh my gosh, it's going to hurt my children. And they're full grown adults. And we laughed about it today. Mom, we could have, pizza, for Thanksgiving. We couldn't find a turkey. So the moral of the story is I was looking at the Sabian symbol, and I'm going to bring this into the room right now for you. The Sabian symbol is, oh man, if I'm going to be able to do this, let's see. Thanksgiving. I didn't bring it in yet. Oh no. I'm going to talk to you as I'm doing this. We might not have graphics tonight. Oh, shame on me. Okay, I think we could live without the graphics, but let's see. I'm so good at this. All right, Thanksgiving, Wednesday, Thanksgiving. There it is. Here's the PowerPoint. So as I'm pulling this into the arena here, it was it was a fantastic experience to be out of my mind last night because I was very humbled and I realized some of the healing techniques I want to share with you all really do work. And I'm also going to be bringing in for the retreat how to train your AI. Even if you've never even explored AI, it's kind of here. It's going to be in our culture. And we also have versions of AI using astrology, which is part of what we'll be working on for the 9-week retreat. So moral of the story is all's well that ends well. But when I saw the Sabian symbol for last evening, the crescent phase, it was the Hindu healer, the image of a Hindu healer. And the focus of the crescent phase, friends, I'm curious to see if anyone else has had any breakthroughs in the past 24 hours on the early fixed signs, The lunation was at 3 Aquarius, early fix. So I'm an early fix, and my Chiron, my wounded healer energy, is in Aquarius. Many people who are close in age to me have a Chiron which is in the sign of Aquarius, the wounded healer. So I needed to be wounded in order to practice the healing. And this message of the phase we're in right now, friends, is focusing on spiritual energy, no matter what's going on in your world, using some of the techniques, i.e., from the symbol representing Eastern ways of healing, is very appropriate. Specific to my chart, and I would throw this out to anyone in the room, if people have had a rough couple of days, we still have the Mercury retrograde, but we have Mars and Black Moon Lilith was conjunct last evening when I was having my episode at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. So you Geminis, Sagittarians, Virgos, and Pisces around the 15-degree mark may have been feeling tense, aggravated, annoyed, or even anxious, because Sagittarius, 15 degrees, Mars, Black Moon, Lilith, was exactly squaring my Mars in Pisces last evening when this was happening. Meanwhile, this crescent phase, Venus and Mercury are together. Mercury's still retrograde. What's a retrograde do? It's always redoing, rethinking, becoming extraordinarily analytical in the sign of Scorpio, opposite Uranus. That's been the focus of this new moon from last Thursday. We're reliving or rethinking or maybe even catastrophizing, which cognitive brain can do if it's under duress. And you might not even know you're under duress. I mean, again, I have a very good life, and not finding a turkey is not commensurate with how I was reacting last night. So, okay, I'm just going to address some of the comments here. Your Mercury's at 15 Pisces. See our bond there, Miss Barbara? That's where my Mars is. And mind-blowing thoughts, right? Because you were being squared in the past 24 hours. You've been more energized, more so than any time in your life. Great, Eileen. That's fabulous, because we are at a pivotal time of re-energizing. Feeling that today, says Mary. Thank you for commenting. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Tracy from Myrtle Beach. Yes. Good evening, Debbie, Amanda. You had your eyes open as well, Miss Amanda. Very interesting. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And yes, we're going to be doing our readings. The retreat is going to be fab, and I hope you can come, Barbara. So I'll be setting out more linkages and so forth. It starts next Tuesday. Again, AI, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, and Chiron with Eris conjunction. And of course, we can't forget Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus moving into Gemini once again next year. Good evening, John. Hi, Nancy. Oh, Nancy, all that Aries, right? All that Mars stuff. Let it flow. Yes, my Virgo moon was definitely acting up, Nancy. Yes. Hi, Sherry. Hi there, Teresa. Hi, Carol. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Okay. All right, Eileen, we should compare our charts. I can't think of your chart offhand, but again, the anxiety attack and then lots of inspiring energy afterwards. Even tonight with this storm. Again, blazing into you from Western New York. Hi, Paula. Happy Thanksgiving to you all, Anne and Mary Ann. Christmas takes you a month to be ready. Right. Thank you, Mary Ann. I know I'm not going to do that again. Hi, Ann, Eva, Erica. All right. Learn how you cooked all night long. You slept on the couch to watch it. That's funny, Mary. Giving thanks to this wonderful community. I love seeing you guys. I'm very thankful to all of you. All right. So this was the Hindu healer. I have so much more to say. I'm talking fast. So that's what we're into right now. And then I wanted to show you the chart for Thanksgiving Day, right? So I'm reading this from the Aquarius moon until 2:24 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern time. Aquarius moon is oh my gosh, I'm working on all cylinders. So if you are prepping in the morning, but once the afternoon comes, Eastern time, we go into Pisces land. It's all worth it because the feelings are involved with the sharing of a meal with friends or family, or even with yourself. I mean, I know many people who spend sometimes Thanksgiving alone in meditation and relaxing. So it's a very relaxing, nurturing, spiritual afternoon, kind of wild and hectic before 224. Now, the first quarter starts Pacific time, here up there, Barbara, at 10:59 tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day. But the real crux of tomorrow's energy, the real storyline, friends, please remember this. Saturn, grumpy old man, goes direct at 10:52 Eastern time in the evening. Now, when a planet stations, it either goes retrograde or it goes direct, you, me, and the rest of the wonderful billions of people on the planet feel a shift. And Saturn is, and I like what Eileen had said earlier, Saturn's about getting the job done. So, show of hands, has anyone had a specific goal in mind? And somewhere around the middle of July, didn't get around to doing it. All right, because Saturn went to retrograde July 13th of this year. As it goes forward, it's marching through the last energy of Pisces for 30 years. 30 years. This is the last hurrah, the end game of Saturn being in Pisces for 30 years until it moves into Aries, and then it creates that beautiful vortex with Neptune. It goes into Aries on February 14th of next year. So clean up your act, Pisces. You only got until February 14th to identify with your responsibility, your authority, making yourself really feel like you're in control of your life, and get that download from Saturn going to direct tomorrow evening. All right, so there's our Thanksgiving. It's going to be really sensitive and sweet in the evening and afternoon. And here's the focus of our conversation today. So we're going to look at the quarter cycle, which takes place on Friday, or again, 10:52 p.m. Pacific time. And that's the countdown to the full moon. The full moon is next week on Thursday. I'll go into that next week. But the quarter cycle is about getting things done. This happens to fall on what day, right? Oh gosh, the big retail day, Black Friday. So we know that Mercury is retrograde. Mercury often rules commerce. And so save your receipts, right? Save your receipts. The energy's at 6 degrees of Pisces. So our focus between Friday and next Thursday is get her done. We're going to be focused on getting and accomplishing maybe something that you couldn't quite complete since July. You're going to be focused to get things done. The quarter cycle is conjunct Persephone. Get into the light, rescue yourself, embrace the light, and see the totality of light and dark. That's what I get from the conjunct Persephone. She was the daughter of the goddess Ceres or Demeter, who was abducted, and that she got out of jail from Hades 6 months out of the year. So see your life as a cycle of light and dark and rescuing yourself. That's one of the messages. And also, of course, the Sabian symbols of parade of army officers in full dress, like dress the part, get your job done. Everyone's on a mission. It'll be easier to accomplish work and focus after Friday. Black Moon Lilith is still conjunct Mars in Sagittarius. I'm going to say this for all of us: believe in your own truth and in your own instincts. That's the focus of this lunation, friends, until the beautiful illuminating full moon of next Thursday. So focus at 6 degrees of Pisces. What that means for Aries, it's a great week for you to reflect, meditate, pray, rest, and surround yourself with your dreams and your imagination. For Taurus, take a step to become more social and identify who your quote friends are in the next week. For a Cancer, yeah, wait, Taurus, Gemini. Oh my gosh, Gemini, this is your time of the year with this beautiful lunation to take steps in creating a more profound career or leadership potential for yourself. For Cancer, this lunation, this upcoming week, is asking you to expand your thoughts, communicate your truth, maybe do some travel. Well, a lot of people are traveling this week, but it's interesting as I just think about that. The United States of America is a Cancer country, as is Canada. And this lunation this Friday is in the travel house. So there, that's kind of interesting, right? But for everyone across the globe, it's time, if you're a Cancer, to think about ways to expand your life. For Leo, it's time to have some serious discussions with yourself about long-term finances and look at your long-term financial security. Virgo, it's a time of this month to really take a look at your BFFs, your friends, your significant others, and become the partner that you want to attract. For Libra, take care of your health, take care of your work, and get into a pattern that's more in terms of a healthy lifestyle. Scorpio just wants to have fun this week. That's what you're being pushed to do, to have fun or to be creative and to share that creativity with others. Sagittarius, this upcoming week is about home and family and maybe cleaning or redecorating, maybe decorating for the holidays. Sagittarius, it's all about that in the next 7 days. Capricorn, take a look at the way you're managing your money and your time. Time is money, money is time. So you're going to be looking at the way you're taking care of business and paperwork as well. Aquarius, really embrace yourself and give yourself a pat on the back and say how great you are, because sometimes people don't do that for you. But take a look at your income and your self-esteem. And the focus is on our beautiful Pisces friends. So if you have a strong Pisces sun or moon or rising sign, this next upcoming week it's on you. You're going to be really in your authority, a little bit more charismatic, a little bit more joyful. So there you have it. Marianne, hi, you just came up. What do you mean your last week to have fun, sweetie? Are you going to be facing some challenges? Feel free to text or DM me. It's right on for you. Good, Sue. Great to hear that. Hi, Anne Marie. You are an expansive person. I mean, I miss seeing you. Oh, you got out of a bid by a lot. Oh, darn. Well, Mercury is retrograde. One more thing about Mercury retrograde. It goes direct on the 29th. Just an FYI, friends. Sales, cars, contracts, you know the drill. But we've got our Mercury going direct at 12:38 on Saturday in the afternoon, Eastern time, or 9:38 in the morning, Pacific time. Forgot that. Okay. Someone's talking about their book. Oh, how interesting, Eileen. Fighting the dark, being rescued from it, but it's a self-rescue. Isn't that interesting? Eileen, you might be very inspired if you take a look at the mythology, Persephone and Demeter. Marianne, don't you love Black Friday TVs? That's how I get my TVs over the years. Okay. And your Mercury is 6 degrees of Pisces. Wow. Your mind's going to be lighten up over this week, Nancy. Hi, Jillian. Okay. You're already feeling the shift. All right, dear friends. Okay. You're releasing the cranberry sauce in the can. Happy Turkey Day. Hi, Elizabeth Hartman. Nice to see you. Big hugs to everybody. Let's do a little spiritual stuff here. Not that astrology isn't spiritual. Let's just do some mediumship, shall we? Okay, so first of all, again, I can't emphasize enough. I hope you all have a blessed, wonderful Thanksgiving. Know this, divide up into 2 sections until 2:00 in the afternoon Eastern time. There might be a lot of tension and moving around, and sometimes people eat around 2 or even noon, but you'll see the energy shift around 2:00 in the afternoon, and we become a little bit more relaxed and sentimental. And yeah. All right. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love, light, and healing for the highest and for the best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, and with Teresa Duby. And I'm inclined to give everyone readings, but my thumb came to you, Teresa. So thanks for being here tonight. Teresa, as I am tuning into you, I want to say kind of an interesting just thought I want to share with you, that you have this beautiful balance between being kind of technical and logical and skeptical and very intuitive and very artistic and very creative. It's not an either or thing with you. You're both. And I want to go back to, I'm getting this intuitively now, but the summer of 23. The summer of 23, when actually the eclipses shifted into Aries and Libra. And that was July of 23, and then culminating in October of 23. There was a huge shift in your life regarding the way you're relating with people. And there may have been an ending of a relationship that was reconciled by the fall, or there was something that was going on in your life that you said, I'm not going to be taken advantage of. And so I want to give you that little message about that time frame. And as we move into the early part of 2026, I've been talking a lot about this, and you've been studying astrology. Everybody here knows what I'm going to say. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries is really going to turbocharge your creativity, is what I want to say to you, Teresa, and get your stuff out there, whether it be a product or a service that's very creative, that's very much reflective of who you are. And there is a grandmother energy who's coming into the room to say hello to you. She loved to use her hands. And at first she was a sewer. She would sew everything, even draperies. And then she dovetailed into knitting, I think, or maybe even crocheting. But she's saying that over so many periods of time, every human being needs to be creative. And she says, you always were creative, even as a child. And I'll leave that with many blessings to you. Okay, let's do another little meet and greet. Okay, eyes closed. And I am with Amanda. Hello, Miss Amanda Buck. All right. I feel as though this past year for you, Amanda, has been extraordinary because you have met a lot of goals for yourself on a physical level, whether it be perfecting exercise or nutritional eating and sleeping. Like you've really aligned your vessel with new discipline, and a lot of spiritual energy is applauding you for that. And they're saying that there's not that dichotomy so much between the physical and the spiritual anymore, that when we are in a good place physically, the spiritual messages and the guidance comes through stronger. And I want to say that I'm not sure if you've been working with your dreams, but working with your dreams are one of those avenues for you to cultivate a greater sense of message work. And in the upcoming year, a heart's desire about your spiritual gifts will be unfolding more easily. And you've got a lot of cheerleaders on the other side of life, especially, I believe this was either a friend or like a second or third cousin, a female who had long hair and a lovely voice. She liked to sing, but she was always commenting on your intuition. I want to leave you with that message tonight, Amanda. and with many blessings. So, all right, friends, great to have some company with you tonight, and enjoy the cooking, enjoy the meeting, enjoy the sharing, and the essence of this beautiful holiday, of course, is gratefulness. And I'm very grateful to know you, and very grateful that you share Wednesday nights with me. Many blessings, and we'll see you next week when we'll be talking about that full moon at 13 degrees of Gemini. So identify where Gemini falls in your chart, because you're going to get some downloads next week. Happy Thanksgiving.